But let's talk about the SnyderVerse also. Restore the SnyderVerse. This was an article that came out that some people caught wind of. Didn't seem like a lot of people caught wind of, but of course, when somebody writes an article like this, yeah, there can be essentially a dog pile that is happening. And this was, well, this at one point this was going to be the main topic of today, but then of course the Ezra stuff came out, and then of course the case, Walter Hamada, all that stuff came out today too. So I thought, all right, we'll push this down because it's an opinion piece like about Restore the SnyderVerse that came out from Forbes. I'm sure some people saw it. And it says right here, at this point, what does Restore the SnyderVerse even mean? And it kind of just goes over. And, before anybody, of course, when you see that, a lot of people, like some people in the fandom might just immediately go, fuck this, fuck you, and all that stuff, and dogpile and say how much garbage it is. But, kudos to the writer for actually commending Zack Snyder, commending his movies, and very much wanting sequels and more, and another Man of Steel and everything like that. But he kind of breaks it down and just kind of talks about, like, after, of course, the WB and Discovery merging, and the announcement brought, what else? A legion of Zack Snyder fans into the replies of social media claiming that is the key to the success of all that stuff. So he brings up that. And he even says right here, believe me, right here, believe me, you have my full support that what WB did with Justice League, replacing Zack Snyder with Joss Whedon after his family tragedy and butchering that film, was terrible. There also seems to be a real mismanagement behind the scenes with certain DC execs of course, Whedon himself, and his treatment of the cast on set. I was happy to see the Snyder Cut released and agree that it was miles better than the Whedon-tainted release. So we talked about this, talked about the release, the Ayer Cut. This is a spin-off movement of the Snyder Cut where there's an idea supported by David Ayer himself that there is a non-WB corrupted version of the original Suicide Squad, the worst reviewed DC EU movie. That's much better than what was released. But it is hard to believe that reshuffling that film would yield similar results. Yes, but at the same time, and this is where I push back on this, yes, it's not going to be the same as Justice League, by no means. But still, it is David Ayer's vision for that film. We literally just got a Suicide Squad sequel and redeemed the concept, and most of those characters, thanks to James Gunn. Again, what is wrong with having an alternate version that gives a more redemption, I guess you could say, to, one main character, two of them, to be honest. I mean, but then again, now we got, of course, the whole Will Smith situation. That might add to the whole decision of it. Hopefully it doesn't. But yeah, so a little bit of pushback right there when it comes to this article. And then naturally they posted a tweet from of course, RT Snyder Cut. Which, that account still exists, and still, I still see it on my timeline every now and again, saying some really ridiculous shit at times. But what can you say? I mean, literally, they say watch Morbius. What's funny about the fact that they in their name has watch Morbius is the fact that Morbius got ripped to shreds by a studio. Why aren't we fighting against that? I thought this whole thing was about to have, to have directors actually have their full-on visions revealed. If you watch Morbius, it has clearly gotten ripped to shreds. Now, it wasn't the same kind of thing as the Snyder Cut, sure, but at the same time, I'm like, it's interesting. I've seen a lot of people in the fandom that are like, fuck yeah, Morbius. Morbius is better than the Batman, and anything's better than what WB is putting out. And I'm just kind of going, okay, you're missing the point of this whole fucking thing. We want creative freedom. We want the artists to do what they do. And clearly, Morbius got ripped to fucking shreds. Boy. The Batfleck movie, once upon a time, there were plans for Ben Affleck to get his own standalone Batman movie, but that never happened. Instead, we got the Robert Pattinson non-DCEU film. That's weird, though. I mean, what do we consider DCEU or not? It's supposed to be DC Extended, right? I don't know. I've seen Snyder fans admit that film is good. Yes, we have. There are Snyder fans that love the film. And it's unclear that what real purpose there would be to returning to Ben Affleck's Batman to have a parallel live-action Batman tracks running, especially since it's clear Pattinson is getting a sequel and spin-offs on HBO. And Ben Affleck's doing fine. He's about to marry Jennifer Lopez, which, yes, that happened over the weekend. Just starred in a critically acclaimed Last Duel and has a bunch of directing projects booked. Ben is moving on, even if fans won't. So, I mean, this article, yes, kind of just puts it out there. Even talking to Reeves Effects over the weekend, it's one of those things when it comes to Ben and his movie, as much as we want to see it, it's just listening to his words. I mean, I'm just like going, whatever Ben wants to do. Whatever Ben wants to do, it's always been his decision. I've been saying that forever. And when there was little murmurs that he might be bringing his Batman story to HBO Max, I thought, okay. Clearly Warner Media and clearly HBO Max would be a perfect place for it and everything. But it's up to the man himself. That's what it's all about. And right now, it's like, what does Ben want to do? As much as we're like, God damn it, Ben, we want to see your movie and everything like that, but he's about to get married. That's the thing. So that's going to have to be, again, what do I always say, guys? Patience. And then, of course, it talks about Man of Steel 2 right here. I'm not opposed to this. Again, kudos to the writer that really would actually love to see a Man of Steel 2, even though, BVS is Man of Steel 2. Just kidding. All right. I think Man of Steel is chronically, sorry, I could not say that word really fast, underrated, and yes, Henry Cavill has expressed interest in playing Superman some more. That said, like Affleck, Cavill is doing great, booked for what is likely to be 5 seasons of The Witcher on Netflix and about 5 more movies on deck. True. But I think if given the chance again, I think some things could be rearranged. Sounds to me, I've told you guys that there was some bumping of the heads when it came to Warner Brothers and Henry Cavill. I even said, why isn't Warner Brothers throwing a dump truck of money at the man? The man's value keeps on going up every year. Henry Cavill, how are you not backing up a dump truck of money and being like, all right, we're going to do 3 more Superman films. What the fuck? It just seemed like Cavill knew his value, but maybe he was maybe he shot too far. And Warner Brothers is like, no, we're not going to go that far. I don't know. Maybe it has to do with Toby Emmerich. I don't know. It's all pretty crazy. But hopefully now with the new regime, something can be worked out. Wouldn't that be sweet? Because nobody wants to see this Black Clark Kent Superman thing that they're going to be, we want to see the Val Zod thing, sure, but we don't want to see the Race Ben Superman thing. We want to see Henry Cavill. So hopefully something can, but at the same time, it's like, yes, at least Cavill, look at how much he's doing right now. And then, of course, it talks about bringing back everybody for Justice League 2, all that stuff. And when it comes to articles like this, guys, and why I wanted to talk about it, is it's not something to be discouraged about, okay? Because I think, even though I can disagree when it comes to certain things that the writer was trying to convey in his article, is the fact that it's but at the same time, just listening to somebody who's yeah, I'm all about this, restore the Snyder. See, to me, when it comes to, and I keep on saying this, is tweet it out as much as you can, fine. Do whatever you want. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. If you want to tweet it, 20, 30 times a day, fine, go ahead. Because when it trends, obviously that's a reminder of where Warner Brothers fucked up. Definitely did. But at the same time, when I see people or I get people in my mentions, I had somebody in my mentions over the weekend that was just basically saying that Army of the Dead and Rebel Moon has, minimal interest to him, and I'm all about just the DC stuff. And I'm like, well, there you go. So you're not exactly a Zack Snyder fan because you can't, if you're just yeah, whatever he's doing, okay, then you're just a fan of the DC movies he likes. I saw that, of course. And then, of course, when I pointed out the hypocrisy that people are now placing on the Batman, saying that it wasn't a success because they're just saying that because people were saying BVS wasn't a success, and that whole thing, just hypocrisy everywhere. It's just not the way to do it. When it comes to articles like this, I'm just saying that it's just kind of interesting to get somebody's perspective on it who very much would love to see all this stuff, but then, of course, puts their 2 cents in. I mean, I think when it comes to what he said about the Ayer cut, I think, I push back against that because, it's not going to be a Justice League level type of whatever fuckery that happened when it came to Suicide Squad. No, but at the same time, when it comes and going back to what I said, specifically when you have some of these people going like, watch Morbius, it's better than Batman. I'm like, yeah, but Morbius was fucking ripped to shreds by a studio. What are we doing this for, folks? Are we losing that? Are we losing the fact that, hey, we want to see the original artist, what their vision actually was? That's what this is all about. At least to me, it's all about getting what they wanted out there. I mean, of course, that's not going to happen with every movie. Of course not. But that's what pretty much I thought was the foundation of the release of Snyder Cut movement, was that. And I think that foundation has gotten lost with some people on both sides of the argument. That's for damn sure. So there you go. Just my 2 cents on it. Artistic integrity. That's what it's all about. Yes.